That's not, I don't do drugs. But people do drugs. I don't do drugs of any kind.
Now, baby, if you thought this Tamar Braxton and funky Dineva feud was gonna stay tucked in Instagram shade, think again, because sis came swinging with the one insult that cut the deepest, calling him a crackhead. Yep, she didn't just block him, didn't just call him messy. Tamar went straight for the Achilles heel. Those whispers that been circling him for years. See, Funky's brand has always thrived on chaos. His lives, his YouTube rants, his club antics, child. It's always that. Did he pop something before he hit record? Energy. And Tamar? She took those whispers and lit them up like fireworks. On her very first IG live since the bloody incident that left her missing teeth, she flat out said Funky stays on something. Allegedly, she's even holding videos of him high as a kite, footage she hinted could surface now that their so-called friendship is 6 feet under. That ain't shade, that's character assassination. And let's be clear, the rumors didn't appear out of nowhere. Funky himself has admitted on camera to edibles, drinking, living the turn-up life. Remember that night he went live rambling about cabbage and smothered pork chops, swearing, I'm not high, but I am on an edible. Yeah, fans clocked it. He laughed it off, but Tamar is spinning those very receipts as proof. This ain't just weed brownies, this is a man spiraling. And the timing, baby, that's no accident. Funky accused her of staging a medical scare, the blood, the teeth, the dramatic I almost died Instagram post, all just to push her. EP. He painted her as a liar and an opportunist, but Tamar flipped the table and basically said, nah, you're the liar. And while you out here calling me fake, let's talk about your little powder problem. Phew, child. Here's the gag. Tamar ain't just tossing insults, she's plotting strategy like a courtroom lawyer. By painting Funky Dineva as an unreliable, clout-chasing blogger with a habit, she's slicing his credibility before he even gets a word out. In the court of public opinion, if folks buy that he's sloppy and unstable, his whole Tamar faked it storyline collapses. Translation, she's doing damage control by going nuclear. And the irony, Funky built his brand off dragging everybody else's dirt, their addictions, their scandals, their lowest moments. He cashed in on their pain, turned their mess into content, and laughed his way to views. But now, the tables have flipped, and Tamar's flipping his own messy playbook right back on him. If it walks like a junkie and talks like a junkie, the streets don't need receipts to start whispering. It's messy, it's cruel, but baby, it's classic gossip warfare. Tamar isn't fighting fair, and honestly, why would she? If somebody accuses you of faking a medical scare, you swing where it hurts most. For Funky, that's those long-rumored demons he always swore were just jokes. The hive might not care, the tame Martians are eating it alive, and Funky's diehards are screaming it's all lies. But let's be clear, Tamar ripped the mask off. And true or not, that crackhead label is one stain Funky may never scrub away.
And please don't, I blocked you, I don't engage, I'm not gonna say your name. Just don't talk about me. I don't want anything else to do with you. You're not my friend, okay? I'm like,
phew, baby. Tamar ain't just tossing shade on Instagram no more, she's dialing up the legal smoke. Word on the curb is sis allegedly got her lawyers on speed dial, ready to turn Funky's messy reads into a courtroom battle. And honestly, are we surprised? Funky didn't just clown her music, he accused her of staging a whole fake medical emergency just to push an EP. That's not gossip tea, that's defamation territory. And Tamar wasn't about to sip it quietly. See, Funky framed her as a liar, a manipulator, and a woman desperate for attention. For Tamar, whose entire brand hangs on reputation, that's career assassination. So when Funky doubled down on YouTube, talking about how he'd profit off the drama and meet her wherever she at, Tamar heard dollar signs in court. Fans instantly drew parallels to Cardi B vs Tasha K, chanting for Tamar to drag Funky the same way. They want blood, wigs, and a big fat settlement check. But here's where it gets juicier. Funky ain't exactly shaking in his boots. The second Tamar started hinting lawsuits, he jumped back online, swearing he never lied. He told subscribers he simply passed Tamar a doctor's number and kept it moving. Funky spun the whole thing like he's the real victim, claiming Tamar manipulated the public into thinking he harmed her, then clapped back when he defended himself. To his loyal YouTube fam, suing is nothing more than Tamar trying to muzzle the one messy mouth she can't control. Baby, The streets say Tamar's lawsuit is nothing but intimidation, her attempt to Cardi B Funky straight into silence. Funky's people argue he doesn't lie, he just overshares, and if Tamar got scorched in the crossfire, that's her business. Meanwhile, fans are glued to it like it's Love and Hip Hop, Blogger Edition. But here's the gag, both of them winning. Tamar's playing the sympathy card and looks like a woman defending her name, while Funky's racking up views, flipping every Tamar IG live into YouTube gold. It's lawsuit for live stream, shade for video, and child, the merry-go-round ain't slowing anytime soon. And don't forget, Tamar knows a lawsuit can flip the whole board. Just ask Cardi B and Tasha K. Funky knows too. Once you're branded as a crackhead with lawsuits hanging over your head, every word starts sounding shaky, no matter how true it might be. And that's the real game here. This ain't just shade, it's survival. Funky's been honest before about dabbling edibles, drinking, turn-up nights. That's not shocking. But Tamar twisting those receipts into a narrative of current use is where the knife cuts deep. It's messy, calculated, and designed to paint him unstable. Now hold your wigs, because if you thought this was just lawsuits and IG rants, Tamar cranked it up another notch. Word is, SUES allegedly pulled out the nuclear option receipts, and not just petty screenshots. No, we're talking about alleged videos, clips that Tamar hinted might show Funky Dineva in his most vulnerable, high and sloppy moments. That ain't shade, that's career demolition. And in her words, a crackhead. Phew. Child. Tamar knows exactly what she's doing because visuals hit harder than captions. Posts get deleted, comments get lost, but a video? That lives forever. And the whispers say she's holding clips that could drag Funky Dineva through the mud in the ugliest way. According to her, this ain't no blogger exaggeration. She swears Funky's been dabbling for years, and she's got proof. If true, that flips the script, because suddenly he's not just messy, he's an unreliable source. Once the streets tag you an addict, your credibility is fried. But let's keep it real, Funky's no rookie. The substance whispers been circling him forever, and he's tackled them head on. He admits to edibles, drinks heavy, has wild nights, then spins it into content. His whole shtick is transparency with a smirk. Yeah, I was high, and I still said what I said. That's why Tamar's alleged receipts could backfire. Instead of burying him, she might hand him more relatability. Messy sells, but messy. With proof, baby, that prints money. And don't forget, Funky ain't innocent in the receipts war. Long before Tamar even hinted at exposing him, he already teased he had ammo of his own. On YouTube, he ended a rant by flexing that he could lay Tamar out with dirt but chose not to. Translation: don't test me, sis. Now it's a full-blown standoff. Tamar's allegedly holding videos. Funky's allegedly holding secrets about that pool of blood. And baby, the streets are waiting to see who drops first. Night and maybe other skeletons in her closet, child. And the blogs? They're camped out like it's Mayweather versus Pacquiao, just waiting to see who drops the first real nuke. The fans are split down the middle. Tamar's camp is chanting, release the tapes. Expose Funky as the crackhead clout chaser he is. Meanwhile, Funky's army is clapping back. Sis, you're just salty because he told the truth. And then you got the neutral trolls in the cheap seats screaming, drop all the receipts, we don't want peace, we want chaos. But let's zoom out, because this receipts war could backfire on both sides. Tamar's crown as music royalty starts looking tarnished if she actually leaks footage. Critics will say she's punching down at a blogger for clout. And if Funky's alleged videos really see the light, even if he laughs it off, his brand deals, collabs, and credibility could go straight into the gutter. Here's the real gag. Neither of them likely wants to push the nuclear button, but just threatening to has the whole internet tuned in. Every IG live, every shady YouTube rant, every cryptic tweet, it's all foreplay for a bombshell that may never even come. Because the truth is, sometimes the promise of receipts is messier than the receipts themselves. Once those videos drop, there's no putting toothpaste back in the tube. Tamar calling him a crackhead in public? That was the warning shot. The real question now, will Funky clap back with his own grenade? He's already saying, these people accused me of the most heinous things imaginable, and all she can say is, please don't ruin this for me, baby. Fair or not, the battle lines are drawn, and the next move could scorch them both. When the tea gets this hot, You gotta sip slow, baby. Everybody wants to jump up and holler that Funky's a liar or Tamar's messy. But truth be told, both of them got fingerprints all over this scandal. Let's start with Tamar. Sis is talented. No debate. The voice, the catalog, the Braxton legacy, she don't need gimmicks. And yet here we are. Instead of headlines about fresh music, we're drowning in pool of blood stories, half-beat faces on IG Live, and subliminal jabs at Funky Dineva. The devil's advocate question writes itself. Why is Tamar even down here in the blogger trenches? She's supposed to be music royalty, Grammy-nominated, Tony's baby sister, respected vocals. But she's squaring up with Funky like they're equals. That move alone has folks side-eyeing her. It feels like Tamar is fueling the circus instead of shutting it down. And let's not forget she was the first one who ran public screaming she almost died. That sent the internet into chaos. But when you drop something that heavy, you can't be shocked when the skeptics roll in. Funky didn't invent the doubt, baby. He just plugged in the mic and amplified it. So in one sense, Tamar set her own stage for this mess, and now she's mad the crowd ain't cheering the way she wanted. Now flip it. Let's drag Funky for a second. Messy is his brand. Sure, but even mess has boundaries. If somebody you once called a friend says they're in the hospital bleeding, missing teeth, the first instinct shouldn't be hopping on YouTube throwing shade. The first words should have been, pray for my sis, I'll update y'all when I can. But no, Funky went defensive quick, spinning alibis like a DJ at a M, proving that in his world, content comes before compassion. And baby, that's why this feud ain't just messy, it's nuclear. Calling her the lady, posting timelines, hinting it was all a PR stunt. Funky made himself look guilty even if he wasn't. Like, brew, why so pressed to clear your name if you really did nothing wrong? Sometimes silence screams louder than a whole rant. And let's be real, his own lifestyle makes him an easy target. He's the one who brags about heavy drinking, popping edibles, wild nights. That transparency is cute for clicks, but it also arms the haters. So when Tamar Braxton slapped him with the crackhead label, it stuck because folks already believed he was reckless. Fair or not, image matters, and his makes the shade believable. But here's the gag. Both sides got receipts, both sides got dirt, and both got egos too big to tap out. Tamar plays the victim card a little too often, while Funky Dineva plays messy blogger a little too well. Devil's advocate? They both wrong, just in different flavors. Tamar's wrong for using tragedy and mystery as promo fuel, then unleashing her fanbase on Funky when it blew up in her face. Funky's wrong for dragging a friend through the mud instead of standing by her while she healed. At the end of the day, the only real winners are the gossip hustlers like me, because this feud is paying bills. Let's keep it a buck, child. This back and forth ain't just blog fodder, it's brand suicide in slow motion. Tamar's a Grammy-nominated powerhouse, one of the best voices of her generation. Funky? He carved out his lane as one of the most recognizable voices in black gossip media. Both of them should be bigger than this mess. Instead, they're throwing bombs at each other while the internet grabs popcorn, waiting for the next explosion, when two public figures let their beef spill. This messy, everybody's credibility gets dragged through the mud. And let's not forget they were supposed to be friends. That's why this feud cuts different. Tamar Braxton blasting Funky on IG, Funky Dineva clapping back on YouTube. It don't just look petty, it looks downright disloyal. Audiences hate seeing friendships explode in public because it makes both sides look shady. If Tamar will air out Funky, will she turn on her sisters again? If Funky flips on Tamar, who's safe next? And trust, the industry clocking all of it. Brands, networks, and sponsors don't want unstable energy tied to their checks. The sad part, both had golden chances to flip this storm into a win. Tamar could have doubled down on her music, turned that almost died story into a testimony of resilience, and reminded the world she's more than clickbait. Funky could have used his platform to protect his so-called friend, then later dropped his truth with receipts once the dust cleared. But nah, both chose chaos. And chaos? It burns bright, but it burns out fast. So what's the legacy here? If Tamar don't tighten her image, she risks being remembered more for meltdowns than music. And if Funky don't separate the messy entertainer from the reckless persona, he risks losing the credibility that makes his reads hit in the first place. Bottom line, this beef ain't just gossip. It's self-sabotage dressed up as entertainment. And baby, the fallout could last longer than the feud itself.